Good afternoon. Afternoon, everybody. Hope you're well. Am I coming through okay? Firstly, I hope my sound is a lot better. I've just bought a new microphone, so hopefully I'm coming through a lot more clearly than I was before. But I hope you're well. Hope you had a good weekend. Who's here? Rohan, how you doing, mate? As always. Mohammed, good to see you. Haven't seen you before. Ian, good morning from Italy. Yeah, Ian, I actually thought you were Scottish, mate. I just thought the Ian Sherlaw sounds a very Scottish name. But Italy sounds lovely, mate. I actually, for me, one of my dreams is to buy a summer house in Italy and go there 6 months of the year, 6 months in Dubai. But that's a little bit away from happening. But that is I love Italy. I went to Rome, must have been 2 years ago now, or before, pre-COVID. Rome and Sardinia, and honestly, the best holiday I've ever been on. Just loved it. So anyway, thanks for joining, everyone. I appreciate it. Thanks to all the new subs, up to 250 subscribers, which is great. So I appreciate that, as always. It is a Monday at the markets. I remember I used to be very, very excited for the Monday to wake up and the markets are open again. But we have to remember it is Monday. Sometimes the movements are strange. And also, it is a bank holiday, I believe, in the UK. So London session, you may not get as much movement as you would normally expect. But let's talk about the dollar first. Family Scottish. See, I thought so. My father's side was born in Durham but grew up in Edinburgh. All right. Yeah, I thought your name sounded a lot more Scottish than thought. So why are you in Italy? Are you working in Italy then? Anyway, sorry, so let's talk about the dollar. The dollar, I think, was interesting because, remember on Friday I said it looked quite bullish, right? I did say that about the dollar because of this potential rising pressure into this area. Now, what I did say, though, was wait for a break and close. Now, if you're looking for it to be traded on these smaller time frames, I mean, I know it came out over that dovish Fed, which has caused some weakness in that US dollar. But one of the things when you're looking for direction on these indexes is, I think this 4-hour chart, waiting for a break and close is important, right? So we did get a push through here on that news, but we got this massive bearish bar after the effect, which is another reason why I like technical analysis. So I like waiting for that reaction to the news rather than taking a break out of this area and then getting massively stopped out on a change in sentiment very quickly. So I'm married an Italian. Italy's great. Oh, right, great. Yeah, it sounds lovely, mate. I'm jealous. Although it's starting to cool down here. It is starting to cool down here. Anyway, so we've got to be thinking dollar weakness now. We've crossed underneath this 200 on that 4-hour. We're getting a slight consolidation, which is what you would expect off this 4-hour bar. But kind of going with that trend, we did think possibly, or should I say, I did think, so I'm not kind of bullshitting here. I did think if we did get a break and close above this area, you're expecting dollar bullishness. But because of this bar, you've got to change your sentiment and say, right, this looks weak now. We do have a support area here, which may provide some support to price, but we have broken through these lows now. So in terms of trend continuation, if you get a dollar, or if you get a setup selling that dollar, I would continue with that. Possibly a pullback to this 20. At the moment, we are in a pullback. So if you see a catalyst there, or something telling you that that pullback is over, possibly a bend in the end, at the end of that trend, a breakout from that corrective, then it might not be a bad idea to look for dollar shorts at that time. Daily is bearish. We're underneath that 20 now. And could we get a reaction like we did last time? You've kind of got a quasi morning star here as well, breaking out from that area. So, reacting to this news, dollar does look a little bit bearish. And I would just wait until that corrective is over. This is the good thing about using the DXY. And you could possibly get into it at a good time, waiting for that rough corrective to be done. In the opposite way, the SPX is pushing. The SPX is pushing. If we look at the currency strength meter, or the FinViz, which I like to, just to look at the strength of the currencies. When I woke up this morning, all these currencies, the commodity currencies, were the weakest. Now, Swiss is kind of weakened off. We're getting yen weakening off as well. US dollar is in pullback mode. But with the stocks pushing, you'd probably expect those commodity currencies to start pushing, those risk-off currencies to start coming off. Now, we did have 2 or 3 nice days last week where markets were fluid, things were moving quite nicely. And if we can get that again this week, that would just be lovely. Although in saying that, I think it doesn't look like I'm going to get a trade in August, but let's wait and see. But SPX looks good. He's got to say it's risk on, and stock's pushing up. So nothing much to talk about there. It looks okay. Okay, setups for today. Setups this week. The 2 silver pairs I talked about. I don't know if anybody got in on this, but it just shows you how unlucky I've been this month. You know, this was a really nice setup. Good ABC. ABC DE probably. But a big push on silver on that news. And we pushed through this area. So what I'm looking for is a retest of this area on this 4-hour chart. So the setup's there. It's not a breakout because of this decent push. We have this 200 to contend with a little bit more now. So if you get a catalyst around that area on high volume, remember on this 4-hour chart for me, I can put my stop loss underneath the candle. So it won't have to be underneath the previous swing. So I'm just looking for a retest on these silver pairs against the euro and against the dollar for potential longs. But again, see, just a little bit unlucky, you know, just a little bit unlucky in terms of my trading. Nothing really wants to set up for me nicely. But if we do get a nice complex here, if we get 1-to-1 before that 4-hour 200, it looks quite good to the upside. So context is there, waiting for a breakout retest on those silver pairs. But again, I really wanted that breakout. Just couldn't get into it. Just went without me, unfortunately. Another one I really like today is the euro yen. So the euro yen looks nice. If we start from this daily chart, we could be possibly coming out of this larger corrective. If we put a trend line on it here, just to make it easier to see. Kind of breaking out of this area, crossing above that 200, crossing above that 20. Decent few days of bullish price action. We're not extended. We're looking to break through this downtrend anchor, which would be nice. You can see here price is slowly creeping into this level. Nice cup with handle pattern. 4-hour again, above that 200, above that 20. It looks good. It looks bullish. You know, SPX is pushing on. I don't see any real extensions there in this 4-hour time frame. We're kind of getting a nice basing structure here, possibly prior to the break of roughly this level. However, on these smaller time frames, it does look good. You know, so I'm looking on euro yen as a breakout from this basing structure, breakout, retest to move to the upside. I'm not taking a breakout, remember, because it's on the 30-minute chart. But a breakout and retest to move to the potential upside looks good to me with stocks pushing on. Longer term perspective play, this looks really nice, breaking out of this channel. And if we do get that fluidity, if we do get that movement up in the SPX, and it relates to Swiss weakening off, dollar weakening off, yen weakening off, you know, we could see a decent trade here in this euro yen for the upside movement. So I like that, euro yen. Euro PLN. Now this is one I want to get in on. That I've been watching for quite some time. It's not giving me what I want it to give me. So we've got our big basing structure as I talked about on Friday. Right, big basing structure here. AB shallow C pushing on. I'm just looking for a day with some bullish pressure. And it's not giving me it yet. You know, we're pulling back roughly to around that 20 now. Shorter time frames don't look very bullish at all. In fact, it's looking the opposite way. But I'm just hoping that this day, hoping is a bad word, hoping's not a trading strategy, but, you know, I just need some bullish pressure in here, something to get me in on that breakout of this level to and stops underneath there. Now, if this does fall, that doesn't mean I'm not looking at the trade anymore, because we could be heading for this, right? We could be heading for an ABC within this pattern, which is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. It would just mean it needs a bit longer to potentially set up if it does do that. Now, I want this trade. right? I'm very clear on that. I know this is an A-class setup, so I certainly want this trade. I just need some bullish indication that it kind of wants to rise, and we're not getting that yet. And if we do, if we do end up today flipping around and turning quite bullish, then tomorrow I will place my breakout with stops underneath there. But like I said, I'm just looking for that indication that it does indeed want to move up, and it just not giving it to me right now on the euro yen. USD yen. USD yen is another one I've kept on my watch list. So remember, we were looking at this long at this area, and on Friday's dovish noon with the USD weakening off, kind of faked out and moved to the downside. But on the daily chart, this setup is still there. So we're getting our V reversal, or head and shoulders if you want to call it that. We've got our complex corrective, and we may be getting here C wave on that complex. So if we got A, B, C, if we get a break below this area, this would be good. Another reload to take that to the downside. Let that 20 period catch up, ideally a squeeze into the area for movement down. So USD yen I do like. It's a few days away, but this context as a whole is now looking pretty good. Just got to be patient, just got to let it set up. So as I said, I've not taken a trade all of August, but I don't consider that a bad thing. To be fair, I would have taken that pound Aussie trade. However, my internet was down, but I don't consider it to be such a bad thing, because for me, I've not lost any money. Fair enough, I've not gained any money, but there's been a lot of setups that I could have taken that I never took that would have been losers. So for me personally, I'm actually quite happy not taking a trade all of August, because I know nothing set it up. So, it's something that I never could have done previously. And doing it now is albeit it's boring, don't get me wrong, it's bloody boring and I want to take a trade, but I've not made any silly mistakes, and I've kept to my strategy and I've stayed disciplined. So, and next week, in first week of September, I could have 4 or 5 trades. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. You don't know when that big trade is coming. For example, my last big trade in euro pound came when you don't really expect it. So next week, you can have 3 trades, they'll all be winners. You never know what's going to happen. But what you don't want to do is do silly things and overtrade because you're forcing those trades. And what you end up doing is trying to basically catch up to break even rather than getting yourself a little bit ahead and in profit. Abdi, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Trader Abdi. Hope you had a good weekend, mate. So yeah, remaining patient. It doesn't mean that you're kind of the same trader as me. You might be, more active in the markets, and that's fine. Just as long as you're sticking with your strategy and not doing silly things, you'll be fine. And finally, euro pound. Euro pound for me, potential movement to the upside on this cut with handle pattern. Obviously, I need a little bit more here. So I'd like to see potentially complex, something like this to get us going to the upside. The good thing about this is we've got a little bit of gap here. So decent risk reward for our next resistance zone. But again, I need this to set up a little bit more. Let us digest this move to the upside, because it is the euro. We know what the euro's like. We know it likes a little bit of a fake. So if we can get this 20 squeezing up for a long there on euro pound, that would be quite nice. Daily looks good. Push on. Couple of bars here. Notice that we've had a quasi-rising 3 pattern. So this outside bullish engulfing here is coming on a little bit of volume, and we're getting lowering volume during these 3 bars, right? Higher volume on this initial one. So this is what's known, this rising 3 is known as an igniting pattern. So that is a good sign. That's a good sign. 20 period is curling back up. I know we've had an indecision, doji bar here, but if we do push up, it indicates to me that these buyers are in control and wanting to move this to the upside. So euro pound, yeah, I kind of like that, to be honest with you. Matthew, how you doing, mate? Good day. Hope you had a good weekend. Good to see you here. So, excuse me. So yeah, euro pound for me personally, I like to the upside as well. I think my favorites, euro pound. I like this euro yen. That's something I will keep an eye on today. I just fancy that for upward movement, but have to wait for it to break out and retest. What else have I got? Finally, I've got this China 50. So China 50 is still potentially setting up. You know, we've had this basing structure here. We don't want this to break right now because it's not ready. You can tell that by just looking at it. 20 period is also up here. So if you are looking to get into breakout trading, simple 20 period can get you in those breakouts at a good time. Just need a bit more of a squeeze into that area, tag on it a few more times to take that breakout to the downside. So a few decent setups. You know, I really do want to get into that Euro Polish. I want to get into that Euro Pound, and I want to get into the Euro Yen. So a few Euro long pairs. Silver still look good. We just have to watch that 4-hour 200, but some decent setups, you know, some decent setups. But remember, it is a Monday. It is a bank holiday in the UK as well. So, you know, don't go wasting all your account on a Monday. It's not what you want to do, because what do you end up kind of chasing your losses that you make today for the rest of the week. So there's a very slight, I always believe there's a very slight difference between unprofitable traders, break-even traders, profitable traders, then great traders. Maybe one trade, maybe 2 trades per month. That's your difference. That's what you're talking about. I like comparing it to a professional goalkeeper, right? So your best goalkeepers in the world, they could be doing nothing for 89 minutes and then make a save to, you know, take their, give their team the win or make sure they don't lose the game. That's kind of what you have to be as a trader. You could be sitting on your ass for, well, let's say 30 days in a month, and then you take that one trade that gets you your maybe 3-4%. Whereas if you've taken a few bad trades previously, you'd just be chasing that break-even point. So there's such very slight differences between good traders or break-even traders and profitable traders. Your chair's burning. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I did this weekend. So I rearranged. I don't know if you can see all this. I rearranged my office. Oh, you can see all this now. So I've done like a little YouTube area. That's actually my humidifier. Can you see it there? Because I've got dogs. So I need to get this thing, or else my room smells of dogs. Actually, I can move this around. There's my setup here. You can see my software. Maybe I'll do that one day where I take you around my office. But that's what I did this weekend. Completely rearranged my office. So anyway, yeah, that's my my watch list for today. This is what I put it on, just so anybody's new. That's what I used. I've got here level broken, so I'm looking at silver here. Level is broken, so I'm looking for the retest. Potential prior to break. Aussie New Zealand is actually gone now, so I'm not interested in it. And this is my potential breakout trend. So that's what I use. Another thing you can use is this. Sometimes I use these. I don't use it as much because of the website stuff, but a little watch list just to help you not take any stupid trades, right? So writing down a few pairs and focusing on that for the day ahead makes your trading life a lot less stressful. We lost the semi-final in the penalty shootout yesterday. What are you talking about, Rohan? The semi-final in the penalty shootout? Football? Looks good. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. I know the cricket was on yesterday, right? My team drew yesterday. Wasn't very good. Football, what semi-final? Was there a semi-final? I watched the Man United game, and I watched the Rangers Celtic game as well. But I don't know which semi-final. Anyway, send me a message, Rohan. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. All right, guys, that'll be it for today. By the way, does the mic sound a lot better? I've just got it now, and I probably need to play around with the settings, but it's one of the most expensive mics, so it should be a lot better than my initial one, which was just your local club. Oh, fair enough. By the way, and also if you like the video, hit that like button. I appreciate it. And I'll be back in on Wednesday where markets are back up, and hopefully we get a good month in September. I'm looking forward to winning some trades and smash this market because I want my 200 grand account. That would be nice. All right, guys, I appreciate you joining. If you liked it, hit the like, and I'll see you all on Wednesday. Trade safe.